Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a todos. Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Welcome to a community dedicated to providing spiritual tools for living a happy and full life. My name is Karina Shear and I'm the Spiritual Director and Founding Minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living Puerto Vallarta, where we have just celebrated our third year here in this beautiful community. Today is Saturday, October 10th, 2020, and we are continuing with our annual theme, which is 2020 Spiritual Vision. The topic for the month of October is Cosmic Connections, and the topic for this week is Inextricably Connected. So each week we open with a spiritual mind treatment. It's also known as affirmative prayer. It's a spiritual practice that is a powerful tool and a practical tool that shifts our consciousness so that we are open and available to accept all the good that is already present in our life. It aligns our thoughts with all good. So let's move into today's service with intention, as we do each week, with a reading from the Creative Thought magazine. Today I'll be reading from October 7th, 2014. And just a reminder that spiritual mind treatment is always done in the first person. So I invite you to close your eyes and take these words as your own, if you so choose. I take my cue from God. God, the infinite invisible, is the irresistible force that is everywhere, equally, evenly present. I am created in the image and likeness of this indwelling source and live in close contact with its unending joy. Because it is my reason for being, I listen keenly to the promptings of its still, small voice. I move in accord with its directions and take my cues on the stage of life from its perfect guidance. Understanding that everyone is writing a unique script for his or her life, I am quick to applaud others' performances. I know that even when mistakes are made, God is behind the scenes and perfect outcomes are assured. My connection with the source and substance of all that is my guarantee that I always perform at optimal levels and that my every act is motivated by selfless love that forever blesses my world. Vibrating at the high frequency of divine love, I am a spiritual magnet that attracts only that which is resonant with its perfection and purity. I release my word to the law of mind, which follows my direction at every stage of being, and bow with gratitude as life joyfully applauds every act of love. And so it is. And that was submitted by Reverend John Scott from Kingston, Jamaica. So let's review our purpose, vision, and mission statements. We have a grand purpose, and that is to awaken and celebrate diversity and to love and serve our community. We do this through our vision, which is to educate and support each other so we can create the life we desire that works for us right now. And we are supported in this by our mission, which is to provide spiritual tools for personal growth and transformation. So I'd like to welcome everyone, whether it is your first time here with us or if you have joined us on Zoom before, or if you have attended the live meetings in Puerto Vallarta, know that you are welcome. And it doesn't matter which path you have been on, for all paths are honored at CSL Puerto Vallarta. So welcome, everyone. So we teach a philosophy here called the Science of Mind. And it's a teaching based on new thought and ancient wisdom. We offer spiritual tools and principles to promote personal growth. An example was the opening treatment or affirmative prayer. And we honor diversity in all aspects so that we can see and appreciate the great oneness that already exists everywhere and within everyone. Dr. Ernest Holmes studied both Eastern and Western spiritual texts when he created the Science of Mind, which focuses on the individual use of thoughts and this powerful thing called the mind. Each week we offer a service with an inspirational message. And normally this is done at a downtown restaurant here in Puerto Vallarta. But we are still required to wear masks when we go out in public. And I am still recovering from my knee surgery. So hopefully by the end of October, early November, we will be able to meet again in person. And in the meantime, I welcome you here into my home. Mi casa es su casa. As soon as we are able to go back out to support this local mom and pop style traditional restaurant, we will be able to do that. And I will put a posting on both Facebook and in our weekly message, as well as on our website, so you can be forewarned of when to meet us in person. I'm looking forward to the homestyle cooking again. So let's get into today's topic. Last week, we were looking at facing the fear. And this month, we are focusing on cosmic connections. Last week, we looked at connecting on different levels with ourselves and with spirit and with others. This week, we will be looking at how we are inextricably connected, an intricate connection, if you will. We are inseparable from the divine, from God. The one bridge that links all of life together is the divine intelligence that is back of all things. It is in our nature to be in community, to feel connected, and to establish a sense of belonging. What can we do to release any barriers that give us the feeling of not being connected? We'll have a look at that in a little bit. Through understanding our spiritual identity as one with spirit, we can understand our connection to each other. And Brene Brown says it this way: spirituality is recognizing and celebrating that we are all inextricably connected to each other by a power greater than all of us, and that our connection to that power and to one another is grounded in love and compassion. So we'll look at this a little deeper by reviewing 3 key points. Number 1, that God is where we are, who we are, no matter what. Secondly, Through knowing our spiritual identity as one with the divine, we realize that we are never alone. And thirdly, we'll look at how to stay open to connection. So, God is where we are, who we are, no matter what. There is no beginning and no end. Each of us are individualized expressions of God, showing up just as we are. Divine intelligence continues to flow no matter what is happening in our lives, no matter what the emotion is that we are going through, whether it's grief, sorrow, happiness, or joyness. God is there, right where we are. And there are times when we feel closer to God than in other times, but it remains the same. God is everywhere with each and every one of us as we are. Here's a quote from the Bible. Just as there are many parts to our bodies, so it is with Christ's body, spirit, the divine, love, pure consciousness, etc. We are all parts of it, and it takes every one of us to make it complete, for we each have different work to do. So we belong to each other, and each of us needs all the others. Through knowing our spiritual identity as one with the divine, we can realize that we are never alone. When we embrace all that we are and know we are not walking this spiritual journey alone, we release our separation from spirit and from each other. We can then realize that our awakening to this oneness with spirit is inextricably connected to everyone else's awakening. And this takes each and every one of us to create this wholeness and oneness. It is in these times of connection, whether it is in person or by Zoom, that we truly feel love and compassion surrounding us. Mother Teresa says this: if we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. So, how do we stay open to connection? By recognizing the good and the divine intelligence within us keeps us inextricably connected to God, to ourselves, and to our spiritual community. In trusting in ourselves and in God, we open our hearts, our minds, and our souls to receive that love, to receive compassion, to receive all the good that is coming to us. It is in this openness that we truly feel the divine connection to that divine intelligence. We must be open to receive so that we can release any barriers or false beliefs or old stories that we have been telling ourselves about not being connected to anyone or anything. Connecting with others is a sense of being open and available to another person. So, some ingredients of human connection might include empathy and compassion. And examples of human connections would be such things as having a meaningful conversation with someone and feeling really understood and listened to, and then listening to them as well by giving and receiving gratitude. even the small gesture of catching a stranger's eye, and then you smile at each other. And sharing an experience with others that involves laughter and enjoyment. It's all connection. So, how do we know if we're really connecting with others? Well, when we're in the moment, when we're no longer thinking about what went wrong in the past or any future worries, we're in the moment. When we're fully available and present to share the experience with others, then we're in the moment and we're connected. When we are being ourselves, we must be honest and show our authentic self. It doesn't work if we're trying to be something or someone else. I remember this saying, and it used to make me laugh, but it's so true. Don't be somebody else. They're already taken. Be you. So when we feel empathy and kindness for another person, we're connected. Judgment, criticism, anger, or meanness towards another closes us down to a true connection. We must be kind and empathetic. And a sense of trust must exist between us and the other person. And this can happen even between two strangers. For example, when you allow someone to help you carry your groceries to the car, perhaps, or if you are giving directions to a local point of interest. Anything where there is that true sense of trust, then we are being truly connected. But if we're trying to connect with others just by being interesting or funny or smart, and we're always looking for a reaction from them so that we know what to do next, then we're not really being connected. And if we feel that we're not being ourselves, if we are manipulating others for their attention, and we feel that we need to be accepted by someone else, then we're not really truly connecting. And sadly, if we're spending years of our life with someone but we aren't truly happy with each other, it's not a proper connection. If either of you are hiding your true self, and if trust is not there, then you're just merely passing time together. And sadly, this often passes for friendship or even relationships in modern time. But we must be authentic, empathic, and in the moment together to be truly connected. So in closing, if we are deeply experiencing, embodying, and knowing our inextricable connection to the One, the living Spirit, we then discover our inextricable connection to each other through that. And we can access that connection through love and compassion and kindness. To experience love and compassion is to experience connection to God. So let's commit to being connected. And this is our affirmation for today. God is, I am, we are. So I would like to thank you for joining us here today, or if you are watching this at a later time. And know that this is our time to graciously receive any donations, whether it is $5, $50, or $500. or even the cost of a cup of coffee. Know that all of your donations are gratefully received. And these can be donated through PayPal on our website. So if you go to our landing page on CSLPV.org, you'll see a Donate Now button. And if you click on that, you can go to PayPal and put in your information for donations. So thank you, and know that you are all blessed and a blessing. So if you would like to join me in our offertory affirmations, I know that my giving blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give and receive. I do give eternal thanks for the abundance that is mine to share. So thank you again for joining us. And I'd like to just remind everybody that if you are interested in becoming a member or renewing your membership with CSLPV, then please contact us to have a membership form sent out to you. And donations can also be included in that, and the mailing address is included on the form. So in the meantime, know that you are loved. Namaste.